Hello again, everybody. This is John and Glenn with BestPriceNutrition.com. Today we're going to be reviewing Allmax Nutrition Isoflex Protein. There's been some requests, so let's go ahead. I mean, protein powders, the reviews are pretty similar, so we're just going to run through real quick what ingredients are in the protein. This particular protein is a pure whey protein isolate, so the type of protein is whey protein. Want to go ahead and
going through the
real quick.
Ingredients: 100% instantized, ultra pure, cross-flow, microfiltered whey protein isolate.
So that just interpretation means it's cross-flow microfiltration whey protein isolate. A lot of companies throw a bunch of adjectives into there to make it sound cooler and stuff like that, and that's the point is it's CFM whey isolate. Right?
Yeah. And then the next is hydrolyzed whey protein isolate, which is whey protein isolate taken a further step and actually broken down into peptide chains. Smaller peptide chains. And then they call it alpha lactalbumin rich whey peptides, which just means that it's whey peptides.
And it's one of the major protein fractions that makes up whey protein that's in there.
Yeah, alpha lactalbumin is in whey protein naturally. So. Yeah. And then they have what they call a NAS complex, which is just a blend of amino acids that they've added to this. L-arginine, taurine, folic acid, and then they have a glutamine complex with glutamine peptides. Then they add alpha-lipoic acid, D-pentatol, and 4-hydroxyisoleucine. That says an IS complex. I'm imagining they're putting that in there for an insulin
I think so. The 4-hydroxyisoleucine was from fenugreek seeds, and I know there was some stuff in the past where people were doing it. I'm not. I think a lot of the research was kind of exaggerated in the past. So
yeah, and then they have what they call real chocolate chips. So they're putting chocolate chips in here.
In that particular flavor.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is the peanut butter chocolate. I think also the chocolate they have it in there too. Natural and artificial flavors, lactoferrin, peanut flour, and your sweeteners, which is acesulfame potassium or ACE-K and sucralose.
Yeah, so the sweeteners they're artificial sweeteners, and quickly we'll touch on sweeteners because we get a lot of questions about them in the comments. Artificial sweeteners. There's a lot of hyperbole about those two that they're going to kill you and this and that. There's no empirical evidence of that. There's just not. They've been shown to be safe. Even aspartame. There's a bunch of nonsense out there about it. Do we know the long term? No, we don't. So I guess we could say that, yeah, there's something to that. If you have an aversion to artificial sweeteners just because they're artificial, that's okay. That's completely fine. It's well within your right. And in that case, you want to be looking for something with stevia or just sugar added to it to sweeten it. So that's okay. We're not saying, hey, you shouldn't be avoiding artificial sweeteners. All we're saying is that a lot of the stuff out there about artificial sweeteners is artificial. It's made up. It's not
made up.
True.
It's just...
At least not in terms of research. And somebody's going to probably post something about they got an email or somebody got MS from, I don't know.
There's just no proof of any of that. And this going through the ingredients here with like the glutamine peptides. So like for example this, and I think this also has it. So
I don't think they're adding that to it though, because on their site I checked that's just naturally occurring glutamine peptides. So they're not adding the wheat gluten.
That's what I was going to mention. Yeah. A lot of times if glutamine peptides are added, they do add wheat gluten, and actually it does say it's gluten free. So that's probably naturally occurring in here. They're just highlighting it further.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of glutamine already in there, and it happens to be in a peptide bonded form since it's in a protein here. So. Real quick, what makes whey protein so special is what?
It has a high concentration of branched chain amino acids. Very bioavailable, meaning it absorbs in the human body, and it's relatively low calorie. Can be used when bulking or when dieting.
Yeah, well, this particular product is. I mean, if you took whey protein, I'm just talking whey protein in general. Whey protein as a protein, the characteristics are it's rich in BCAAs, as you said, which is important because our muscles are, largely comprised of those 3 amino acids. There's a preponderance of them. Also, it's easy to digest for most people, especially something like this, because this is a cross-flow microfiltration whey protein isolate. So, versus like ultrafiltration, where the filters are going to be finer when they're doing microfiltering, so you're going to get more of the ash out of there, more of the fat, more of the aspartame, without denaturing the protein because you don't have to use a lot of heat. What's the other? Ion exchange is another process. I think Isopure uses that. They exploit charges to separate the protein from the fat, the ash, the lactose. Those are the things that they're trying to get out of the protein to give you a more concentrated protein. So for a protein to be an isolated protein, it just has to have a higher percent protein. That's what separates it from a concentrate. I think sometimes people think concentrate is like something completely different. Well, no, it's whey protein. It's just not as high of a percent protein.
Yeah, whey protein concentrate just has that lactose and fat still there.
It's in there, yeah. Or not all of it's been filtered out. So like this, and most of the flavors, it's going to be, 90% they're going to say. And all that is just the amount of protein per serving and the serving size. So it's typically thought that a whey protein isolate, especially CFM, is cleaner. Right? You hear that a lot.
Yeah, there's not the issue with, like John had said, with the ion exchange, with the denaturing of the protein.
Yeah, you exploit the charges. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a harsh process. So.
People who have issues with lactose shouldn't have a problem with this product.
There's no lactose.
There's no lactose inside of it. There is 1 gram of carb in here.
In that flavor, yeah.
In this flavor.
Also in.
Yeah, I'm imagining it might be from the cocoa or the chocolate chips that they're adding.
Yeah,
but
probably.
That 1 gram of carbs is not really going to make a difference because you are getting 27 grams of protein and 0 fat.
Yeah, it's pretty low. So I mean, the questions is that 1 gram of carb going to affect you? I mean, no. It's pretty minute. Another thing that Allmax does is they source all their whey from the United States. So it's not from China. I know there was some people that were worried if some of the protein powders come from China because of what was the pet food scare? The melamine, right?
Melamine or melamine.
I think it was melamine, and melamine can be used to inflate the amount of protein in there. It's actually not protein. It's just it's a cost issue. It's just a way to save money, make it look like there's protein, and its toxicity can be that of, I think, like table salt, where it's something, I forgot the exact, it's like 3 grams for every kilogram of body weight makes it toxic or something like that. So, and I believe the problem with pets was it was in the foods they were just doing it to, like I said, make it appear as if there was protein in there, and I think it was causing renal failure. So
yeah,
in some dogs, I think so. But
so, yeah,
that never made it to the human side of it. But just to be on the safe side, a lot of companies mention if their stuff is sourced from the United States, and that's the case with Allmax. So
yeah, so you can be certain that there's harmful chemicals.
Yeah, like amongst whey proteins, it's one of the cleaner ones because it is, like we said, the CFM whey isolate. It's got the high percentage of protein per serving. Taste-wise, I'm not big on recommending based on taste, but going by feedback from people, it's
very good from feedback from customers. Peanut butter chocolate, I think, is by far the most popular from what we see. But I've had the rest of them. I think they taste good. We get good feedback from customers, but that is subjective.
Yeah, and with the whey protein, something to consider is when you do take it is that it's going to be a little bit more liquidy of a consistency, that of something just basically like water. So it's not going to be really filling. So if you're thinking filling, whey protein is not going to be what you want unless you mix it in milk. Then it's going to have the casein in there, make you feel a little more full, a little more satiating. So
it's not really something you want to use as a replacement for a meal because, like John said, it's not going to be very filling. It is very low in calories. If you wanted to do something like that, you could mix it in a blender with frozen berries or healthy fats.
Or eat something with it, have some almonds or have a banana or have something like that with it, and then you can make it a meal. But in and of itself, it's not going to fill you up if that's what you're looking for. That's certainly not what you're going to find. It can be used by men or women. There's no gender specificity. Although some companies will market certain powders toward.
Yeah, they have another version of this called Isoflex, which is just a smaller serving size.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So
just take half a scoop if you're lower body weight.
Same thing.
And the amount of protein you should get. It's another question we get a lot whenever we do like a protein video. It's typically we recommend about 1 gram per pound of body weight or your goal body weight. If you're extremely overweight, if you're 300 pounds and you're trying to get to 180 pounds, well, I wouldn't recommend taking in 300 grams of protein. I'd knock that down, so go to your goal weight. Anywhere from 3/4 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is about where you're going to want to come in at, depending upon activity level and other macronutrients you're taking in. So.
And what this then would be used for is you have your diet, what your foods you're taking in, so you would supplement this to reach that goal. So if you were to try and get 180 grams of protein per day, let's say you only got 100 of it from your food, the other 80 could come from this.
Yeah.
Just an easier way to get protein in.
Yeah, as Ben said, it means supplements mean just that. You're supplementing your diet. That's what they're made around. They're made around foods, and that's what they're there for, to supplement things that you just can't get enough of in your diet. If you're an athlete, you have you need more. So I think we covered everything. protein reviews aren't sexy, if you will. There's not really much to say. It's protein is very important. You know, you have to have protein, otherwise you're not going to build muscle. So it doesn't mean that we're underscoring the importance. It's just that we're just talking about protein itself. So if you guys have any questions, just feel free to post them in the comment section. We're more than happy to answer them. Also, check us out at facebook.com/bestpricenutrition. Thank you.